Now. All right. Yes. All right. So let's get into our seats. Make sure that we are sitting up nice and straight. We want to bring our backs away from the chair a little bit, just so that we can start to strengthen the lower back body. All right, good job. I see everybody adjusting. You want to make sure that vertebrae is stacked on top of vertebrae, okay? All the way up from the sacrum, which is the lowest part of the back body, right by the sits bone, to the nape of the neck. Maybe tuck in the belly just a little bit and sit up a little taller. And as you start to breathe in and out, find a place for your hands and just start to notice the breath. Just so you know, the more alignment that you have in your back, the easier the breath will flow. And for now, you're just checking in with the temperature of how you feel in your physical body. Using the breath as an anchor and as a way to stay focused. Start to bring your awareness more and more to the body and to the breath. This is just a time of solace, really just a time to check the temperature, so to speak. Take about another 4 breaths just like this. But this time, try to bring the breath a little bit deeper into the body. Put a little more effort into the experience of breathing. Nothing to do and nowhere to go but to connect to the breath. And as you prepare for class for the next hour, do your best to just be present. Set an intention that no matter what comes to your mind, that you will continue to focus on your practice. And this is the practice of yoga. And you drop your hands down by your side. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And just notice how when you roll them away from the ears, you kind of do this motion of rolling back, dropping down. On your next inhale, breathe the shoulders up to the ears and pause for a moment. And then exhale, roll the shoulder blades back down the back body. Okay. Let's do that 4 more times. And we're lifting up, so our chest body, we're lifting up through the rib cage, lifting the shoulders up to the ears. And then on the exhale, we're dropping back down. It's almost like the shoulder blades can pinch a penny in between your back body. So you're just doing this motion of just starting to open up the shoulders. And then we're going to reverse and we're going to start to come forward. Rolling the shoulder blades now forward. We're lifting up through the shoulder blades, but then we come forward and it's like our chest starts to collapse. And then we pull back and we do that about 4 times. And just loosening up the shoulder blades, loosening up the neck body. And then relax the shoulders. Relax the hands. Notice the fingertips. See how the fingertips are. Matter of fact, take a look down at your hands. If your hands in any way are clenched or the fists are clenched, give yourself permission to open them up. If your fingertips are kind of holding tension, try to breathe through the shoulders and allow the weight of gravity to come through the arm body down into the fingertips. And then you loosen it out and maybe even stretch the fingertips out. Slowly start to allow the arms to rise up, lift up to shoulders length. Hands are holding pots of water. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, extend the fingertips out. Each side of the room is supported by your hands, by your pots of water equally. Pause for a moment and just feel the breath. Try to channel it down into your feet. Try to channel it into your fingertips. And also, as an exhale, taking it out the crown of the head. So you have these 5 points where you're breathing in and out. And as you breathe on your next inhale in, allow the arms to rise up, lifting up overhead, and then the shoulders roll away, falling down the back body. Take the gaze up, lift the chin up, eyes seek the top of the ceiling. Exhale, slowly come down to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just feel the weight in the arms. Next inhale, rise up through the shoulder length, all the way above head. Fingertips face one another, palms are facing. This is our seated mountain pose. Stay here for a few moments and feel the full length of the body, all the way from the fingertips to the feet. I actually want you to wiggle the fingertips and press the toes into the ground, just so you can feel this full extension of your body. You use your breath, inhale, lift up through your pelvic bowl, pressing more into your seat, rising up through the chest body, gaze is up. Exhale to the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Arms rise, lift up, reach up overhead. One breath, one movement. And as you come up to the top, on your pause, roll those shoulders away from the ears. And on that exhale, bring the arms back down by the side. Last one, make it your own. One breath, one movement. I'm just going to do it so you can see me as a reference, but maybe close your eyes and really just feel the way you need to approach your body right now. And the fingertips come down by the side. And when you're ready, you can just kind of shake it out, kind of twisting your body to the left and to the right. And just keep breathing. We're going to drop the chin down to the chest. Hands are heavy, right? So the arms are loose, chin to the chest. Continue to sit up a little bit taller in the spine. When we bend our neck forward, our upper body has a tendency to want to come forward as well. So make sure that you continue to keep the body straight, chin to the chest, and then roll your right ear towards your right shoulder. Inhale and exhale. The right arm is gonna rise, and you're gonna release it to the temple on the left side. The left hand is loose. What I can urge you to do is that if it's too much tension, bring that left hand towards the left thigh and just lay it there. If it's not enough and you feel like you want to do a bigger stretch, take your left hand and just as like a windshield wiper washes back and forth, allow your hand to be parallel to the ground beneath you, and you just kind of take it back and forth, left and right. So you have these modifications, and it's okay to also just stay there and let gravity do the job. No forcing and no tension coming from the right hand, so it's just laying. Inhale, right hand rises, bring the right hand down by the right thigh, chin tucks back down to the center chest. Then we're going to bring our left ear over towards the left shoulder. Take a few breaths, just get to get a sense of what you feel like in your neck body. When you're ready, take the left hand, lift it up, lay it down on the right side of the head. Right hand has 3 positions, so you can find your place. You can place it either on top of the right thigh for less of a stretch. You can let it hang heavy so that gravity does all the work for you. Or you can add into your effort if you want to extend out on the stretch and just windshield wipe your right hand back and forth parallel to the mat. And everything is valid. So whatever you choose, allow it to be what works for your body. And then drop the hand down by the side. Take the left hand, lift it up, lay it back down by the left leg. Bring the chin to the chest. Pause here for a moment and just breathe. Take your fingertips, place them on the top of the dome, so both your left and your right hand are going to lift up. And you're just going to lay it on the top of the dome, right where the mid part of the head body is. Fingertips just sit there. Elbows start to sink in and they start to come towards the center part of the body. Why is that? Because gravity just starts to allow them to do that. Now, it may be that you're a little bit more are a little less flexible right now or a little more stiff. So if your arms are all the way out and that's enough for you, that's fine. You can just let each breath help you to ease into a pose. Perfect. I see some of you guys easing in now. Beautiful. No force. This is just stuff where gravity does the work for us. Bring the hand down, both your left and your right, by your sides. We're going to take it one breath, one movement, rolling our right ear towards our right shoulder. Tuck the chin down to the center chest, and then left ear to the left shoulder. And do this about 4 times on each side, just rolling the head back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling, allowing the breath to match the movement. You can close your eyes here if you like. If you want to keep them open, just keep the gaze fixated in a way that you're completely connected to the rotation of the head. Just so your focus stays geared and steady on the pose at hand. And then we're going to bring our head back up, bring our hands towards our thighs, and just pause for a moment. And breathe. Take about 4 breaths. And slowly we're going to start to rotate our upper body, lean our chest forward, and then pull back. And begin to do this about 8 times on each side. Just rolling the body, breathing in, pulling back, breathing out. Find your rhythm, finding your inhale and exhale. So you're going to do this in total 16 times, okay? 8 going one way, 8 going the other. And you can do it however you like, but it's just a good way to just start to loosen up the lower back body. Before we do any poses, you'll see a significant change too in your quality of practice when we loosen up properly and warm up. Make sure you do the other side. You want to open up the legs a little bit and do that as well. You're welcome to. If you want to add some head rolls in there, you can do that as well. Just think about movement and being completely fluid. And then we come back to center. And sit up a little bit taller. Pause for a moment. Once again. We're going to do our first flow of the class. All right, and once we do this first flow, we're going to take it slow, but then we're going to go into our own rhythm. Just like we found ourselves in our rotation, we're going to try to bring a fluid movement to our flow and do it about 4 times in all. First time I walk you through it. Second time I'll give you less and less cues, and the last time you're going to do it completely on your own, but I'll just be there to demo for you, okay? So arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, mountain pose. And like I said, we're going to hold each part of the flow just so you can start to build your muscle memory. And if you want, you can add in a slight back bend and look up, taking the gaze up. You don't have to. Exhale. On your next exhale, you're going to come forward, pressing your belly and your chest towards your thighs. Forward fold. Head hangs heavy. And just stay there for a few moments. Maybe even let the hands hang back and forth Just so you know that you're completely allowing the belly to flop down. Your shoulder blades are loose. There's no execution here. You're just hanging around. Next, we're going to prepare to come up to a half lift, flat back. And the way we do that is we press more of our weight into our feet to support us. And now we're executing something, right? So we're going to come up and come halfway using the core to help us and assist us. Wrapping our belly muscles around our back body and our back body around our belly muscles. Sit out a little bit more inside the pose so that your vertebrae and your spine are straight and your rib cage is lifting up towards the heart body. And then exhale, come back forward, forward fold, completely hanging around, hanging heavy. Again, no execution. You're just idle, you're just hanging around. And then on the next inhale, use the strength, again, pressing your feet into the ground, lifting up through your core. This time, arms lift up all the way into mountain pose. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, and on the exhale, if you like, you can bring your hands together to heart center and come down. Now there's two ways you can do that. You can do heart center, or you can just bring your hands to your side. It's your choice. Inhale, arms rise, lift up, reach up overhead. We're going to go a little bit more flowy. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Hands come down to heart center or by the side. Let's do the next one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, make it your own. I'm only going to demo. And beautiful. We're going to end back with our hands at our heart center. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. If your hands were by your side and that was your style, bring your hands to the heart center. We're going to take our fingertips that are pressed together and bring the fingertips towards our heart body. So we're tilting the prayer hands towards our heart and our chest. On the next exhale, we're going to pivot down just like a seesaw goes down, and now their prayer hands are pointing towards the mat. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, back down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back down. And then come back to center. Lift the prayer hands up overhead. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Sit up through the pelvic bowl, just like we did through all our mountain poses and through our flow. Look up, gaze up, and then we're going to exhale and we're going to pivot the body and we're going to lean towards the right. Pivoting open the shoulder blade on the left, take the gaze up, look up. Come back to center. And then to our left, pivot up the right shoulder. Breathe in and breathe out. And come back to center. And hands come down by the side. Arms rise, lift up, reach up overhead. Let's do that again. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling. We're going to lean towards the right again, pivoting open. So we're looking up, keeping the left sits bone grounded into the seat, by the way. Come back to center, lean to the left, and then we're going to pivot up again. You should feel like it gets completely different each time you do this, and then come back to center. And then hands come down by the sides. In fact, take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, or just press the palms to the sacrum. If you are lifting the hands, you can pull them away. And remember, there's range. So wherever you go is fine. You do not have to do it one way or the other. Just listen to your body. And then let the hands unclasp, hang down, hang loose, and shake it out. And this is going to prepare us to come into some of our next poses, okay? Arms are going to lift, reach up. Hands are going to come down and they're going to be flat in front of us. Great. Take the right fingertips and wiggle the right fingertips. Sky flip the palm, lifting it up so that it's facing the ceiling. Take the left hand and just pop it underneath. We're going to pull back on the fingertips. Now only go where you can. All right? Only go where you can. Listen to yourself completely. And breathe in and out. And then start to rotate each fingertip, starting with the left, starting with the pinky, left fingertips are holding on to the right pinky, and rotate each finger all the way to the thumb. Make sure you're breathing in and out. If you need to take a break, bring the elbows by the sides. Otherwise, you can just come back out when you're ready, straightening out the elbow, straighten out the wrist. And doing a little bit of this hand yoga, which is really good for the whole body. And then just keep breathing here. It's easy to hold the breath when we do this. And then just finalize it with one last kind of press and rotate the hand all the way back down. We're going to pause for a second, take 2 breaths, and just feel the difference between the right side and the left. And breathe. Arms are going to come out in front of you. You'll even notice maybe there's a difference with the way one hand feels to the other. Take your left fingertips, wiggle the left fingertips, face the palm up towards the ceiling. Right hand comes underneath, and you can just kind of pop it underneath. Pull back on the left fingertips. Right hand is doing the controlling. If you need to take that break, take the break, but keep the connection. And then come back out when you're ready. And start to rotate each of your fingertips, breathing in and breathing out. Good job, guys. And just know as you breathe in and out, that helps with the circulation. That's going to bring more oxygen towards your nerve endings and towards your fingers. And it also helps with being able to, because this is your hand and there's so many different parts of the body connected, right? Like organs and things like that. It's going to help bring air and oxygen to every part of your body when you breathe. So try not to hold the breath. And then full hand presses back out. And then rotate it down. All right. Arms rise. Reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Look up, gaze up if it's part of your practice. Hands come down either by your side or to heart center. Inhale, arms lift. Bring your full leg together. So make one big leg, your right and your left. Bring it together. Press your feet into the ground. Pivot your body over towards the right side. Bring the hands to heart center. Now your body's pivoted to the right side, and I want you to just, wherever you are, just come down with that left elbow to your thighs, whether it's your right thigh or your left thigh. Take your gaze up towards the right and make sure you're looking up towards the ceiling. And just breathe. We're just going to pause for a few moments as we hold this too. So we'll say about 2 more breaths. Slowly we're going to come back up, but we're going to keep our gaze to the right. We're going to keep our body pivoted to the right and then drop our hands to the outside of the right thigh. The right hand comes behind us on the chair, just so you can see. Right hand comes behind us, and then you can find your home with it. Whether it's behind you on the seat or above you on the top of the chair, it's your choice. Left hand is crossed over the body, outside of the left leg, outside of the right leg. And take your gaze and look behind you as much as you can. If you want to close your eyes here, you can. But just make sure that you're keeping your chin running over your right shoulder. Breathe in and out. Take about another 5 breath cycles here. Just try to connect to the peace inside of you. Allow for each part of the breath to help massage the back body. Adjust as much as you need to. Slowly bring the hands up, still facing the right. We're going to pivot back to the center, okay? And I like the word pivot, so we're pivoting back. And hands are going to come down by the side. And we're going to go through a quick flow, and then we're going to come on to the other side. So you can open back up your legs to hips width apart if they're not there already. Arms lift, reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Beautiful. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale. Take your time, bringing your arms overhead. Take care of your body. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to press the palms together. And then we're going to bring our legs together again, our left and our right. This time we're going to pivot over towards the left side. And when we find a home for our, where we feel comfortable in terms of our sweet spot, we're going to just come down with that right elbow, whether it's on the left leg or the right leg, and just take the gaze up, looking over the shoulder, looking over the left shoulder. Breathe in and out. So the right elbow is down on the leg, left elbow is now up. So we're doing the other side. And take about 2 more breaths here. Squeeze the core, press into the ground to help you rise up. Just continue to stay looking over your left leg, and then drop your hands down to the outside of the left leg. Okay? Find that home for your left hand. Right hand is now crossed and is just kind of gently laying on the outside of the left leg. And take the gaze behind you so you're looking over that left shoulder. If you want to close your eyes here, you can. And take about 5 breath cycles. Breathing in and out and adjusting as you need to. Arms rise, lift up, overhead, pivot back to the center. We're going to go through another flow. Look up, gaze up when you're ready. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And hands will come down either by the side or through the heart center. It's your choice. Beautiful. And just shake that out. We're shaking out that work that we just did. Yes. And make sure your feet are back to about hips width apart. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Let's shake that out. And we're going to start to move down the body now. All right. So let's take our hands. We're going to interlace the fingers and we're going to cuff the knee. All right. With our fingertips. Now here's the thing. You don't have to go very far. Even if your toe is the only thing on the ground and your heel is lifted up, that's fine. If you can, and if it's in your practice, just try to bring that right knee up towards the right armpit, continuing to keep the alignment in your spine. Remember, there's range, so go wherever you feel most comfortable. On the next exhale, allow the weight to fall into the fingertips, chin tucked into the chest. Inhale and breathe in. Squeeze the thigh, lift the thigh up using the hands just as guides. You're bringing it up towards the armpit. And then on the exhale, dropping again the weight. And then place the foot back down on the ground. Undo the hands, undo the fingertips. We're going to take the other leg. Fingertips wrap around the left knee. Again, go into your range, starting from either the ground with your toe, or you can bring it up. Left knee towards the left armpit. And then on the exhale, gently cuffing the weight. Really letting the thigh just be loose. Remember, there's that place of execution and intention, and there's this other place of just letting go and letting the weight hang heavy. And this is one of the places the weight hangs heavy. Then we squeeze the thigh, and now we start to put some movement into the thigh, bringing the left knee back up towards the armpit, but we're using more of the muscle in our thigh to do it. And then on the exhale, letting the weight fall once again, supported by our fingertips. And then bring the foot gently back down to the mat. We're going to take our hands, place them in front of our knees or right on top of the upper thigh. Slowly start to bend the back body, looking up, taking the head, letting it fall back. There's this wide part of space from your jaw down to your neck. Then we're going to reverse, pulling back. The back body starts to come towards the chair behind us. We're tucking in the belly, navel tucks in towards the spine, chin is now towards the chest. On the next inhale, reverse, dropping the head back, lifting up through the pelvic bowl body. And this is our seated cat-cow. Then we reverse. So when we reverse, we're in our seated scared cat, and the back body is dome shape, almost touching the back of our chair. Then when we come into our cow, that's when our bellies come forward and they protrude towards the wall in front of us, and then the heart lifts up towards the ceiling. The back of the head hangs heavy, and the chin is now pointing towards the ceiling or the sky. And do this about 3 more times. Just make it your own. Even slight movements in range are fine. So if you can only go a little bit, that's fine. If you can go a lot, that's fine too. There's no right or wrong way, but just try not to hurt yourself in any way where you're overdoing it, or overextending, I should say. Try not to overextend. You shouldn't feel any kind of pain. If you feel a little bit of pain, just lay back a little bit and just modify. Okay? One more, and then come back to center. Arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. This is a very active class. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Hands come down through the heart center. and then bring the hands to the chair. We're going to take our left leg and just lift it up a few times. All right. Let me move back just enough so you can see me. We're going to take that left foot. Make sure that the left toes are facing up and they're flexed. This is going to take your full focus and concentration. I love this because this is one of the best things to exercise our mind. All right. And let me actually adjust. It seems like the lighting changed. I want you to see. I really want you to be able to see my feet because it's important. Okay. So here's that foot. It's up. All right. Next, we're going to take an inhale and we're going to lift up through our seat. We're holding onto our chair. And we're going to, on the exhale, the next exhale. So inhale is pressing up. We're lifting up. On the exhale, we're bringing our foot over towards the right side, leg extended out. All right. And then we inhale and bring our foot back to center. And on the exhale, the weight falls through the right foot, so we're not actually moving it anywhere. Then we inhale and bring the right foot forward, feet are flexed. Exhale, the right foot over towards the far right side. Inhale, squeezing the thigh, coming back to center. And on the exhale, releasing and pausing. Inhale, forward, foot is flexed. Exhale, foot is to the side, extended straight. Inhale, back to center. You're using your core. Try to engage your core at this point as well to help you move. And on the exhale, release. Next, inhale, squeeze the core, bring the leg forward. Exhale, we're opening up the pelvis area, extending the leg out straight. Inhale, come back to center. Pause on the exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Foot is flexed, foot is extended, foot is back to center, and foot just stays. Last one. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Good. All right, let's do that on the other side. Take our left foot, wiggle the toes, bring the foot down so that the heel is on the ground beneath us. All right, flex foot. Inhale and breathe in. On the next exhale, draw the leg out all the way to the left side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, pause. Inhale, foot is flexed, squeeze the core, bring that foot out. Exhale, long leg, the hip extends open, straight leg. Come back to center. Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Squeeze the core, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Two more. Foot is flexed, leg is extended, back to center, and pause. Last one, make it your own. Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Good job. Now I bet you anything that was on your mind is gone. All right, let's go through a flow and keep that empty mind with us for the rest of this practice. Fingertips rise, come forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Reach up overhead, hands come down by the side. And we're going to pause just for a moment or into heart center. And then come to standing. This is going to be the standing portion of the class. All right, come into a place behind your chair. Okay. We'll start on this side. I don't know why I like to do this side first. So get yourself up, get comfy. There we go. Beautiful. I see everybody's up, ready to go. We're going to begin by lifting up on the right foot. Let the left foot anchor into the ground. So right foot rises. And then exhale, slowly allow the foot to come close, but let it hover over the mat. It comes close to your other foot. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Squeeze the core. Remember, when we were sitting, we kind of did the same thing. So you're squeezing the same muscles. That's all you're doing, same muscles. Then bring your right foot to the ground. You're going to shift the weight so that your right foot is completely supported. Your left leg is now going to lift. And I'll move this way so you can see me. There we go. Left leg lifts. Hand comes down. Foot comes down to hover. Squeeze again. Same leg muscles. 2 more times. Nice and steady as well. Like, you don't have to go fast like this. You can just take your time. You're holding onto your chair so you're completely supported. And even if you're only hovering a little bit like this, that's fine. Okay? I don't want you to feel like you have to do anything that's overdoing it. All right? We're going to wiggle the right foot. So keep the right foot wiggled. And then you're going to press it a little bit closer towards your chair. You're going to take the left foot, wiggle it, and bring it back behind you. Give yourself about 2 feet of space in between your feet. The left foot is going to be pivoting and facing towards the wall in front of you or the screen in front of you, but it's going to be facing toward about 45-degree angles away from you. So 45 degrees away from you. The right knee is going to bend so that it is stacked on top of the right ankle. Okay? So now we're in this position where we're starting our warrior, but we're just starting to clean it up. You're going to bump the left hip forward and bring the right hip back. Okay? So when we do that, we're basically twisting the body. Okay? And that is important. Even if you want, you can take a hand and almost place it right into that crease, and that will help you to square your hips with your chair. And then adjust your feet to a place where you feel most comfortable. I normally go right in the middle to demo. You're welcome to go as far as you like or as close as you like. You should be completely supported from the ground beneath you. There should be no wobbliness, okay? Take your right hand, take your left hand, lift it up towards the ceiling. If you want to do both hands for warrior 1, you can, but you don't have to. You can keep your right hand planted on the chair. Inhale, breathe in, look up, gaze up, lift up out of that pelvic bowl, and then open up into warrior 2. Make it a nice, strong warrior. Fingertips should be on the chair if you're using the modified warrior 2 pose. If you want both hands up, this is what it looks like, warrior 2. We're all going to take our gaze and look over our right shoulder or our right hand. Even if your hand is on the chair, you're looking over the right. Clean it up a little bit by sitting a little bit lower into the lunge if you can. Imagine that you got like a ball or a block in between your thighs, so squeeze the thighs, squeeze the belly, squeeze the back, and then continue to breathe. Slowly, we're going to start to lower our shoulder down towards the chair on the right side. And then on the exhale, we're going to lift back. Shoulder is going to pull away from the chair. The left hand is going to come to our thigh. Now you can keep your hand right here, or you can extend it and stretch it. And gaze is up. Peaceful warrior. And if you don't want to hold on to the chair, this is what it looks like for peaceful warrior. With your right hand up. If you're holding on to the chair, the fingertips are supported by their tips on the chair. And breathe in and breathe out. That's what peaceful warrior is. Take your left hand, lift it back out, come back to center so that you're back in warrior 2. We're going to pivot back around, warrior one. Bring both hands to the chair, and then we're going to push back. But the way we're going to push back is we're just going to shift the weight so that that bent knee on the right side now is straightened, and then we just start to lean our head forward. Adjust your back leg, your left leg as you need to. Breathe in and breathe out. Soften the knee, and then bring both legs back and just kind of walk them out. I always offer you the option to rest your forehead on the top of your chair if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, so think of this as our downward facing dog. It's the first one of the day, so we're pedaling out our feet. It feels amazing, and we're breathing here. And we're softening those knees. We're going to come to a steady position and slowly start to rise back up. And come to standing behind our chair. If you like, you can lift both hands up, mountain pose. If you want to keep one hand on the chair for security, you can. And then exhale, and hands come back to the chair for support. All right, come on to the other side just so you can continue to see my feet. So wiggle your left feet, wiggle your left foot, wiggle your left foot. Make sure that that left foot is closest towards the chair. Now the right foot is going to go back, okay? And we're going to soften our knee on the left side so that the knee is stacked on top of the ankle and all the weight is evenly distributed. The right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Make a place for your legs so that you have enough space. And if you notice, my feet look like they're on train tracks, right? So I'm not in this straight line like this, wobbling. I have space in between my legs, just in case you can't see that from the side. Okay? Again, square the hips. All right? So bump that left hip back, bring the right hip forward. So you're square with your chair. Take your right hand, lift it up towards the ceiling. This is our warrior, holding on with the chair. If you want both hands to come up, you're welcome to bring both hands up. Again, squeeze the core, squeeze the thighs. Make this an active pose from the tips of your fingertips all the way down to your feet. And then on the exhale, we're going to open up into warrior two. Adjust the feet. If you're holding onto the chair, great. Continue to hold on to the chair, but take that right arm and bring it behind you. Look over the left shoulder. Make sure you're looking towards the left shoulder. And if your hands are up, you're seeing your fingertips. Otherwise, you're at least in your peripheral, you see your shoulder. Sit a little bit lower into the pose, into warrior two. And breathe in and out. Make it active. Slowly inch your left shoulder down. All right, and then come back. Right hand comes down towards the thigh, finds a home. If you're doing reverse warrior with your hand up, you can take that hand back. If you need to hold on to the chair, hold on to the chair, guys, okay? Yeah, because I see somebody was wobbly. Hold on to the chair if you need to. Nice reverse warrior. Slowly extend the right arm out. Come back into warrior two. Okay, however you feel the best. We're going to pivot back into warrior one. Bring the hands back to the chair. Straighten out that left leg so that you're straightening it out. I don't know. So until you're like in a triangle pose. There we go. And then gently start to lean the upper body forward, continuing to hold on to the chair. And you're just getting a nice hamstring stretch. Soften the knee again. And then bring both feet back and just walk them out in our downward dog. And then relax and breathe. And slowly start to lift back up. Come back up to standing right in front of our chair. Come back into mountain pose. If you want to just lift one hand, you can, or you can lift both, your choice. Let's see what time it is. Okay. And then bring the hands down by the side. We're going to do one more standing pose. I see we have enough time. Okay? So your chair can be in front of you or it can be to the side. And also if you have a wall, you can keep the wall with, you can use the wall for support. We're going to start to do tree pose. All right? I love tree pose. I think it's an amazing pose and I think you'll like it too. So take your right toes and just wiggle them. I love when people wiggle so we're all on the same page. You're going to take your heel and you're going to press it up right above the ankle. Now the tip of your toe on your right side is still going to be on the mat, okay? So I don't know if you can see that, but it's still going to be on the mat. I'm holding onto my chair on the side, but you can have your chair in front of you. It's up to you. If you feel as though this is pretty good for you and you don't want to go no further, you can take your hand and find a home for it. All right, and this can be your chair. You can either use the chair for support or it can be just like this for your tree pose. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can bring your right foot in between your foreleg, on the inner foreleg, not on the knee, not on the ankle, but in between. It's that space right here. And allow it to just be supported by the muscle in your calf. All right? Or the side of your calf. And again, you can bring your hands into any position that you feel like is most comfortable for you. Of course, I want you to challenge yourself a little bit with your balance, but I don't want you to fall. So breathe in and out. Then if you really feel like you've done this before and you're like, yeah, I've done tree a couple times, you're welcome to take your foot and place it on the inside of your thigh. These are all modifications. So any place where you go is completely valid. And however you place your hands in the process of this, completely valid. Once you find your sweet spot, take about 5 breath cycles in and out. Focus more on lifting up through the tree so that you're basically pressing into the floor, coming out. So it's like a root is coming out through and your strength is coming from the ground. You're lifting up through the body. And then bring your right foot down and just kind of wobble back and forth. Good job. Yeah. Now we're going to take our weight and we're going to shift our weight to our left foot. So make sure if you need to know what your left foot is, wiggle the left foot. So we're going to shift our weight to the left foot. Okay. And we're going to take our right toes, place them in the ground. Heel rises. So just do the other side. And then find a home for your foot. We've gone through this. So you can do the first part of the modification, the second or the third. Again, holding on to the chair if you need to. Undoing it. Not holding on to it if you don't want to. But finding this place where you can come out of the body, lifting up from the ground, and you're completely active. Okay? And take about 5 breath cycles to just find peace in the pose. Remember, tree is all about being able to bend a little bit. It's also about being rooted and grounded. Despite the wind, despite the weather, you're able to stay in a sense of peace. And then bring the foot back down to the mat and just kind of shift the weight back and forth. And we're going to come back down to seating, to our seated position. Take your time. Breathe in and breathe out. Find your hips width apart with your legs. And we're going to prepare for Savasana. So relax the head all the way down to the feet by really letting go and giving yourself permission. Relaxing the shoulders, the elbows, the hands. Find a home for your hands wherever you want to place them, just like we did in the beginning of class. Relax the sits bone, let the weight fall down from the sits bone through the thighs, the knees, to the ankles and to the feet. And with each breath in and out, congratulate yourself on a job well done. You didn't have to come to yoga today, but you did. Maybe even smile. And see if you can feel a sense of gratitude for the rest of this time in practice. And see if you can find a sense of love, self-love, and resolve. If your eyes are open, I invite you to close them. Just breathe in and out, and this is what we came for. All the poses led to this moment, so really allow yourself to just feel fulfilled. You did it, you've arrived. And continue to stay in Savasana until I bring the singing bowl. Knowing that this part of the practice is just as important as any other part of the movement that we did. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a
Thanks.
beautiful, blessed day. Yes, thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Yes, you too.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Bye.
Have a good
Yeah.
week.
I love you guys. Thank you.